Welcome back to another episode of Born Again Bowhunting Podcast. On this little series, we're going to do our sponsorship partnership ad and a little series on that. So kicking it off, we have Premier Outdoors, and we've got John Miller on the phone with us. So how's it going tonight, John?
Sure. Hey, good.
Good.
Just got my day in here, so.
Busy day at the store, I'm sure.
It was pretty busy tonight. Yep.
Yeah.
So John is actually at the store right now, and they just closed a little bit ago, and he decided that he's going to stay a little bit later and do the podcast with us. So perfect. That'll work.
Yes, but thanks for having me on.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. So before we get into any of the real podcasts, we have 3 icebreaker questions for all of our guests. So we'll just tie those in here with this podcast as well. So the first one is, what kind of bow did you shoot this year?
Elite Ritual.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
That's something new that we haven't heard yet. Yeah. The second one would be, what kind of trail camera is your favorite that you're currently running?
That would be Wise Eye.
Yeah.
I got too many of them, almost. Well, not really too many, but...
Yeah, you can never have too many Wise Eyes.
You're in good company.
No. Yep, they are.
And then the final question is, if you're on the road during hunting season, what's your go-to drink? Coffee, energy drink, water, pop?
Milk.
I would have to say coffee, for sure.
How do you take it?
Just black.
Just black.
Black.
Like a man.
Yeah.
Down at the store, they drink a lot of black coffee.
Just black coffee.
Yeah.
That's a common one, though. A lot of guys do the old black coffee.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get into it. All right. We'll start off. Once again, we introduced John from Premier Outdoors. He's been partnered with us for a long time, and we greatly appreciate him, and we're going to give him the show tonight. And so, John, tell us a little bit about yourself. Kind of just give the audience a little bit of a intro, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, I'll start with how we all got started, I guess, with our store and the background of that part of it.
Yeah.
So my brother Norman had a little archery shop about 5 miles north of here, and he was running that for, I don't know, 6 years that he owned that maybe, and I was working at another company in retail, and I would help a little bit here and there and fill in sometimes when he went on West trips, and I'd help where I could on marketing. Wasn't involved a lot at all with the business, but we as he had that, and as I got more experience in retail, I always wanted to have my own business, and B, I was very familiar with retail, so I felt like, with his experience that he had or he got there with the archery shop, I felt like we could do a pretty good job with that, with my experience in retail and his knowledge, and so I think the conversation started in 2000. I would say actually probably 2013, late in the year. We had started, and we started talking a little bit more about it, and the first thing is location. Everybody, we want to have the best location possible, and we're here in the heart of Amish country, and we spent a bunch of time trying to figure out where we could locate to get the best, to have the best spot that we can in this area. We didn't really want to go out of this area, so we worked on that for quite some time, and then in the fall of 2014, me and myself and Norman, we decided that we're going to do this, and a guy that I work with at our other company, when I told him that I'll be leaving and we're going to be doing this, he wanted to be a part of it. Well, we were thinking, we're going to partner up and we're going to do something. And then we started entertaining the thought of having that third partner and the benefits that it could bring of having a third partner. And so we spent a bunch of time with that, but we ultimately decided that if we have a third partner, and we have with three of us putting money into it, we'll be able to do something a little bit nicer, and really kind of do what we envisioned. So that's when it began. We found a spot here in Mount Hope. It was we had a house and a barn sitting on two lots, and we literally, with a house, they're older buildings, but people were living in prior, and it was still livable, but it was pretty old. So we started with that, and we tore it down. We broke ground in, I say, late March of 2015. And by July 15th, we opened our doors. And so it happened really quick. In the in the time that from March to July, we started getting product in, and we had to fill, we had to organize, we had to figure out how we were going to display everything. And so my personal shop at home, we don't have a big shop, but we started getting product, and we had it piled to the ceiling. And we also had a POS system, which we weren't familiar with. So we had to get all these items put into the system so that once we can get into our building, that we don't have to put all of the products in. We'll only have 20 or 30% of them that we need to still put in. Now we opened in 2015, July of 2015. But yeah, there's me, my brother Norman, and myself, and then we have a silent partner that has money in it and has a third share of the company. He's actually been, with his experience that he's had, we feel like we have a great team. We like the three, for partnership with three guys. It helps it a little bit with making bigger decisions, I guess. We never really had anything come up that was an issue that we couldn't, we had to have a vote. We can pretty much talk through it without it, but it makes it nice, and it's comforting to have the three guys that if you're locked in on something, you have a third person.
It's a tiebreaker
for voting reasons and stuff.
Yeah,
it just eliminates the whole. We made all made an agreement that if it comes down to it, the majority vote is what we'll do. So going in and having that understanding, it makes it easy to do. But we've been really lucky. We have a good group here, and we have a great group of employees. So we couldn't.
How many employees employees did you start with, John, and how many employees do you have right now?
So we started out with, I believe there was 8 of us, with the part-timers, and we're at, I think it's 14 with our part-time employees, 14 or 15. This is where we're at now. But we have, I think there's 10 or 11 of us that would be considered full-time. We have full-time. Then we have some guys that help out in the evenings and on Saturdays and stuff.
Yep. So one more question before we go on to the next topic is, you pretty much touched base on when you guys started, how you acquired the building and everything like that. But what made you and Norm want to start an outdoors company? I know Norm had that little bow shop, but I guess you guys could have went any direction in starting a business. What made you want to do an outdoor store?
So we're outdoorsmen. We love the outdoors. We like to hunt. We like to fish, and that whole thing. And I personally, I thought we could do. I don't want to say we could do a better job, but I felt like there is room for us, and we have a lot of competition. But once we started thinking about it, we just outside looking in, we felt like we can start or open a store at the right location and be successful from the start. And just because we felt like with our merchandising experience and at the right location and the products and obviously the right people. We have to have the right people here, employees here at the store, but we felt like we can do a pretty good job. And then as soon as we started looking at it, we knew that we don't want to be a gun store only or an archery store only. We want it to have it so that when we go through these slower times of the year where we're at right now, that we have more to offer than, a gun department or an archery. And so we have footwear, we have apparel, we have right now sports like softball for us down in this area is really popular. So softball bats, slow pitch softball bats and gloves and that type of thing is really big. And just starting into the fishing season, spring fishing, and also, turkey season coming here. So
yeah, you guys cover all the bases. No pun intended, but
yeah.
Really,
you guys really do. And then also, I work with you guys a little bit too, and it's the old ping pong throws me off a little bit, but that's pretty cool. You guys have a pretty good ping pong selection as well. So just some odds and ends.
That has grown tremendously. Actually, it was really popular 10 years ago, and then I don't know, when we opened up, it was going on, but not a lot. And then we started getting it in, I think, in 2017 or 18,
mm-hmm.
and it has really grown. It has really grown since then.
Yeah, you guys have a good selection of a lot of different things you wouldn't think a sporting goods store would have. So that's what one of your advantages of the store is.
Can Jam.
Yeah,
remember when you grabbed that?
Yep. Yeah. You guys got like
backyard
some recreational stuff. Just a little bit. It's basically there's something there for everybody, and I'm sure that's what you're.
We like to think that we don't have the biggest selection of all the categories but if we try in the building, we're limited. We don't have room to, like, we are almost maxed out. I never want to say maxed out because we can always do better in product selection and organizing and just the whole thing. But it is our store's pretty full and
John,
we only got so much room, but we try to have a pretty good selection of each categories and we really try to have the best in each category, but we don't always have all the products that we need. But we get in here what we can.
Yeah. My next question was, are you the main guy that does most of the ordering for like all of the products, or do you have a couple people with their hands in it researching as well?
No, so I personally don't order a lot of stuff. I assist with ordering on the bigger buys or the booking because we have to book out half year or a year, sometimes more, and the sales projections and stuff is really hard. So I assist with our buyers when they are placing those orders. Our everyday reorders and stuff that we do, there is some little categories that we don't have anybody covering that I personally order, but we have people pretty much have it covered to where we have buyers for every category, most of the categories.
Cool.
And you rarely, whenever I come in there's hardly ever a bare spot on the shelf either. Like what you're going back to with all your inventory and stuff. You might not, like you said, you might not have everything there, but you definitely have a full shelf all the time, which is very nice.
And the other thing that I want to point out is, like, John was saying that his store was a little bit full, but I feel like the products it's like high-end stuff, it's like medium to high-end stuff where it's not just cluttered with a bunch of junk.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go in there and look at his boot supply, for example. I mean, John has every selection of Crispies possible, and Loas and like whites and
Crispies.
Crispies and
Tenatrex, Hanwag.
Yeah.
And it's like,
those.
Where else in our even area can you go and try on how many crispy boots that you guys have there? I mean, it's just you can't do that anywhere even close to us.
Yeah, we're actually pretty unique in our footwear in the high-end hiker category. We're one of the only places in the eastern part of the U.S. that you can try on, all the top 4 or 5 brands.
Right.
In the high-end category.
And John has a ton of stock, too.
Yeah.
It's not like he's got a size 8 and a 10.
Yeah.
It's like, I just bought a brand new pair of Crispies the other day, and, I was like, can I try an 11? And they brought me an 11. I was like, well, what about 11 and a half? And then tried that, and I was like, well, maybe a 12. And then, they had all 3 sizes, and I finally picked on the 11 and a half. It felt the best, and, so if anybody's listening that, I know that, turkey season's coming up, and I know guys are getting ready for elk season even, like starting to prepare and like do workouts and like, put them boots on now, break them in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go out and buy them, break them in, get ready for September because it'll be here before you know it.
And that was actually the first time before I met, Matt and everybody. I went down to Premier because I had seen in the flyer that they had Crispies, and my dad and I had been wanting to try on Crispies. That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
But there was nowhere that you could get them.
No.
So I was like, we heard that Premier had them, and before I knew anybody,
Yeah.
I think this was before even Hannah and I were dating. We went down to Premier, and they had them.
I remember you telling me
and we
that.
tried them on, and we ended up buying them down there, and it was like, that was the coolest thing because
Yeah.
you always heard people preach about good boots, but they were the only ones with that great selection.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yep.
That was the second big ticket item I bought from Premier too. Was
Yeah.
Crispies. Yeah, seriously.
Good job on your boot
it's a pretty,
selection.
pretty important thing to have if you're going in the western states hunting and stuff for sure.
And not to toot your horn
have
too
them
much, but
comfortable.
you guys are one of the only stores in the area that actually have decent out west supplies
Yeah.
for Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
Like backpacking stuff.
Yeah,
Like
and the boots.
Frame packs,
Bags.
tents. I mean, jet boils.
Yep. And we're making some changes here in the store to inch out a couple, maybe 100 more square feet or 200 more square feet of retail space that we're working on this spring. We haven't started, but we're doing that solely to try to improve and just be able to carry more of the western hunting items
that's
that
smart.
we feel that we need to add to the category because it is very popular.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a great idea, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially for our area. I mean, I feel like a lot of guys in our area, go out west either in September or late archery or something like that. They're going out west.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's everybody's
people,
dream.
more than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the next one, Jerry?
Well, we could talk about Techno Hunt if you want, because that's pretty.
Well, before we get into that, let's cover like some brands. I think is kind of what I know we talked a little bit, but
You want to do like what are the top 3 brands that they sell the most of?
yeah. So, John, talk a little bit about the variety of brands. You don't have to give like an exact number of how many brands you cover or you carry, but maybe talk about some of the more important brands. Not saying that every brand that you carry is ultimately important, but talk about the best-selling brands that you have and why shop at Premier. Like why come to Premier versus anybody else?
Well, I'll start right there. Why shop at Premier? Well, first of all, we try to. Well, we want to give 100% effort into our customer service, and we want to have. We try. Well, we feel like we have one of the best teams around as far as it comes to if knowledge. If somebody wants to know about guns, Marlon can take care of that. If anybody has any questions with archery, we got Aaron, and Mike is really growing. And he knows so much about a lot of different things, but his focus right now is on fishing, and we feel like with him spending more time in our fishing department, some new stuff is happening in our fishing department as well. But our team, everybody from our front register and all the guys, the people we have on the show floor selling, but then so much work gets done behind the scenes. So every item, every last SKU of our 10 or 12,000 items that we carry, every single item has to be entered into our system and received and entered to track our inventory. And so it goes through our receiving, but we have our office, and Hannah's in the office right now and doing a great job, actually. But she does so much work in the office, nobody really, oftentimes you don't see a lot of some of the people that do so much work and to help make us who we are. But our people, and we always feel like the better that our people are, and the more they know and the more knowledge that they have, the better customer service we can provide for the people coming in. And then having these categories and bringing them all together in one, and having people knowledgeable in these categories, that's why you want to shop at Premier Outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely,
I believe it.
So going into brands, I have no idea how many brands, and I didn't spend the time to look.
Too many.
Because in footwear alone, we got 53 brands. So, but it's hard. I'd have to spend some time on it. But we have a lot of brands. I wanted to talk a little bit, just cover some of the. So, like in gun department, Fierce Firearms. Exciting new rifle, not that new, but fairly new for us, and it's been really taking off. Their rifles they're just really good for the money. But Fierce Firearms, and then with Airport Ridge opening up here in Millersburg with the sporting clays, the sporting clay guns have really taken off, and we carry brands like Rosini, Fab Arm, Beretta, Browning. We had Soli, Caesar Greeny. We have sometimes, not always, but we have some of those higher end shotguns. And then we carry the TriStars and the lower end stuff too. But in the gun department, we have that, and then also this wave that we have going on around here with coyote hunting is crazy. And so the Pulsar, the night vision, thermal optics, and the thermal optics and the night vision optics have been really taking off. I don't know. It just seemed like in the last year or two in our community here, it's on a completely new level on the people that are actually doing it and stuff. So, then on over to archery, the top brands that we have. Well, you have to start with the bows, because it seems like archery always starts with the bows.
Yeah.
And we carry Matthews. Matthews is our top brand. We also have Bowtech, Elite, and then we have a lot of crossbow hunters, and 10 Point, which are made right here in Akron. They have been our top selling crossbow, and the crossbow sales for the last 4 years have been climbing, and it just continues to grow, especially in this area. I don't know how it is outside of this area, but there's all kinds of new accessories and stuff that we're always getting in and stuff. But that's what we got in archery. And then fishing, I'll touch a little bit on the fishing. Not much there, but we have the brands like St. Croix, Fenwick, and all the reels. We try to carry the most popular nets, landing nets, and then lures. As I said earlier, Mike's focusing on our fishing department, and we're bringing in a lot of new accessory type stuff and lures for those crappie fishermen that are out there. We have Nasty Nate crappie lures coming. Those actually will probably be here tomorrow.
Nasty
literally.
Nate.
So I'm really excited about it. A lot of people are excited and waiting. He was here at the sports show this winter, and he did a seminar, and he also makes his own. He makes his own baits, and he does a really good job. So we're excited about that. Other than that, we in apparel we have Scree, Scentlock, and Element, True Timber. We have what I call the Under Armour and the Columbia clothing. We carry a lot for the Amish people, but we do have those brands here. And then the backyard games and the camping chairs and the tents and the air mattresses,
Coolers.
sleeping bags for around here, and sleeping bags for Western hunting, lightweight.
Great Yeti selection.
You have all the coolers, John, the Pelican, the Yeti.
Pelican coolers, yeah.
Yeah.
Pelican and both Pelican and Yeti. Pelican, we carry their 250 quart, and the 150 quart are, from Pelican for us, those are our top sellers, and they're really popular. Lifetime warranty on those Pelican coolers. The Yetis, obviously, everybody knows what a Yeti is, but they're just a little bit slimmer designed. Some people like that better, and some people like the Yetis because it's a Yeti.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And you can't really replace that with another one. So there's a bunch of stuff probably that I even missed.
Well, I'd say one aisle that I probably do most of my shopping in that you forgot was the amount of trail camera selections. You have the cell cameras out the wazoo.
I'm hesitant. You know how for me, we carry the cell cameras and the Wiseye, Tacticam, Blackgate,
Spartan,
Covert, Reconics, Spy Point,
and Spartan, right? We got Spartan.
Spartan, right? We'll be getting some Cuddy backs. They're new ones. But a lot of people ask for a recommendation on the cell cameras, and for me, I like to be comfortable before I recommend. Otherwise, we have them here on the shelf. If somebody else is comfortable with what they're using, they can, and they know what they want, they can buy them.
Yeah, I was just saying that you have a vast variety. I mean, there was Browning, Spartan. I mean, you listed them all. You have a variety of cameras where if somebody wants what they want, they can walk into the store and grab it.
And the variety of price point.
Yeah, and then also they can walk in there, and if they want some advice, you can point them in the right direction. So I mean, it's a win-win.
And if they need help setting them up, I mean, we do that all the time as well.
Yeah.
So and after they leave the store, if they have issues, we try our best to help in any way that we can.
I will say that one thing, I'm not going to throw out a brand, but there was a brand of cameras that was pretty popular, had some issues with it. And I will say that I bought quite a few of them. I think I had like 10 of them, to be honest. I think like 2 or 3 of them work now, but that's not the point. The point is that I brought cameras into John, and he took care of me. So, and not only me, also just regular customers he took care of. So if anybody's out there listening, like, hey, I want to, it's a big investment, if you're going to spend, buy a couple cameras, it's a big investment. And some guys, they want that, they want to feel comfortable, and honestly, if you call these big name, companies, their customer service is not going to help you.
No, not at all.
But John's got a little bit of pull where, he can help out. So, I mean, take that for what it is when you go shopping, because I can promise you your big box store is not going to help you like Premier is. So,
yeah, we try to be there. So some companies are really good with customer service, and some companies are not good at all. But yeah, we're here. The companies that take care of their customers, we normally don't have to do much, but it's those times in the busy time of the year where some of these companies, they just don't have the staff and then we try to do our best to help things along the best we can.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Anything else, John, that you want to touch base on as far as products before we go on to the next topic?
Not that I can think of. I'll probably think of other stuff, but I think I think, yeah, we have a full stock of turkey hunting supplies in right now, and our spring fishing stuff, it's coming in every day, so we have that stuff ready to go.
Awesome.
That's pretty much it that I can think of right now.
I do like the fishing selection down there. They have different sizes of the same color scheme lures and stuff like that, and a pretty wide variety of lures too. So I do enjoy coming down there and poking around what the new products are and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of our topics was the techno hunt. John, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So you want me to talk about what it is about and how it works?
If you want to, yeah.
I mean, I can. It's a 20-yard range, and it's a projector screen at the end, and you can shoot. One guy can shoot. You can shoot up to 6 people can shoot it together, and it keeps track of the score. And you can shoot. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different scenes, different types of animals, anything from African to
bugs,
bumblebee,
bugs.
Yeah. And, big game, small game, all kinds of animals. And then we run our right now we have our winter leak going on, and then we normally have leaks twice a year. So right now we have that going on. It's just a fun experience. It's got sound and everything. So if you want to test your buck fever a little bit, maybe you want to practice, but it's a pretty cool experience to shoot and to practice shooting and seeing the animals, and it has audio, so it's a pretty cool experience being in the room, and then it tracks your arrow and keeps track of everybody's arrow and tallies it up, and you know where you're going and who wins.
Yep. It's fun to play with a bunch of buddies, honestly.
Yeah, if you've never done that before, you need to, because it is, like he said, it's just an awesome experience to be able to shoot all the different animals, and then you get to go down to the store and pick out some goodies while you're down there also.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for everybody.
Yep.
It is a good time to go pass some time too.
Yeah, absolutely, especially in the winter months.
I was gonna say on a cold day or rainy day or something like that.
Give it that cabin fever and go shoot your bow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's fun.
It's one of the only ones in the area now too.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of them around that we can go and shoot at.
Yeah, I think we're actually. I'm not sure if we're not the only one in the area that can do multiple people. One of the only ones, if not the only one, that will have that you can shoot up to 3 guys in one. Right. There used to be a couple more around, but they are changing their technology. They don't want to have any more than one person shooting at one scene, because it's a little harder for them to be able to track the arrows. But we put there's some new sensor, new cabling, all that stuff that we did 2 years ago. New projector. We tried to update a lot of stuff, and our system works pretty smoothly, and Aaron does a good job trying and keeping that thing going and keeping it calibrated so you actually are hitting where it's showing, because that's one of the things that you have to stay on, or it gets off track a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think I have one question for us, so that maybe John can, hear a little feedback from us, or maybe just, go from there. I wanted to ask you guys, sitting around the table, what is your favorite either product or part of Premier? Kev, if you want to start, and we'll just work around the table.
Yeah, well, I kind of touched on it earlier. I really enjoy the fishing selection. They don't have like your, if you go to a big box store, like the ugly stick combos and stuff like that. They have much more higher end reels and rods and stuff, and then along with some nice lure selection and stuff like that. And it's, like I said, it's a wide variety, and I really like the fishing section.
Cool.
It's fun to get out on the kayak and have a nice selection of
the
lures.
Old yak.
Yeah.
Jerry?
Yeah. I would say for me, not only is it the high-end products, but it's also the people. I mean, I may need to run down to get a camera, or I need to run down and get a box of ammo, and I end up spending 2 hours sitting around talking to the guys working because it's just they're so easy to talk to,
Yeah.
and it's fun. I would definitely say that the people, other than the high-end products, is definitely probably one of the biggest things for me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jarrett.
No
That's
problem.
a compliment.
Yeah. Chromes?
If you know me, you know that I am an archery geek, and honestly, one of the most impressive things about Premier for me is the accessories, the archery accessories, the release selection. I'm a competition guy, and if I was driving by, I would not expect to have competition releases and high-end accessories, sights. I mean, like I'm really into the target stuff, so it's cool to see back tensions and thumb releases. And you guys have a great arrow selection. But yeah, just for me, it's like going there, and it was almost a surprise to see the selection of like target archery. And it's cool. I like Aaron a lot behind the counter because he does shoot target archery. So he's like myself. I used to work retail, and he's good about combining hunting and target archery equipment, because the target archery equipment is actually what makes you a better shooter in the end. So he does a nice job of combining those, kind of like when I used to work retail as well. But yeah, so I'd say for me, being archery is my favorite thing to do. That's my favorite part of the store.
And excuse me. And lastly, I would probably say the boot selection. Jarrett kind of stole I was going to say the people, but honestly, I truly do enjoy talking to John, Marlon, Aaron, Norm, everybody down there. I enjoy it. But since Jarrett stole my thunder, I'd have to say the boot selection for sure, because not only do I get like casual shoes from Premier, I buy my work boots from Premier, and then I also buy my high-end hunting boots. And and also for those guys that maybe don't want to spend the money on high-end boots for hunting, Premier has a wonderful supply or selection of just like Rockies and just like your average boot. So I mean, don't feel like going down there and you're like, oh, I don't want to spend money on high-end boots. Premier's got everything.
Yeah.
And Hey Dudes too.
Yeah. And Cromer's Hey Dudes.
Yes. Are you getting a new order in soon, John?
And
tell me when.
I think it's last of March sometime when the next one comes.
Ooh, I'll be down,
or
buddy.
April 1st or something like that. So.
Every time Premier gets a new shipment of Hey Dudes, Cromer buys. He's like, dude, you like this one? I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And he's like, I'm getting it. Walks away with
I bet you I bought 5 pairs from there. No joke. I'm buying another, and I wear them out, so I need another pair pretty soon. So hurry up on that order, John. All right.
Our on cloud shoes are really popular too.
Yeah,
I own a pair of those as well.
So that's what I was talking about. My casual shoes. I mean, I have them on right now. My tennis shoes that I have on right now are on cloud, and then I also, they have that ankle high like hiker boot or like the hiking trail boot. I wear that early season. I really do.
Yeah, you hunt with those.
I hunt with those until about mid to late October, and they're lightweight. They're waterproof, and as long as it's not 30 degrees outside, your feet don't freeze.
So a quick story with the on shoes, because I know that they're like, they may not be like known as the most popular shoe, but Matt and we went to an archery tournament and we just had the waterproof on. I had just the regular tennis shoes and Matt had the ankle high shoes. Matt and I don't get paid by On. We were in the rain for, I'm not kidding, 8 to 10 hours pouring in an archery tournament, and the only thing dry on me was my feet.
Amen.
I'm not kidding.
Truth.
For a regular tennis shoe, I could not believe how good the waterproof was on those On shoes. It was insane.
I mean, obviously you can't go walking through a creek or a pond.
We were on like grass.
But as long as you're, if you're walking grass or trails or something like that, we were soaked head to toe.
It was
but
crazy.
Our feet were dry.
Yeah, that's my testament to the.
That's awesome.
But,
yeah. They're great shoes.
That's definitely something that I would say is a big plus to Premier, though.
Yeah.
Is the customer service. Like you said, you wanted to have that customer service, and I would say that you guys have done a really good job at it, because when you build a relationship with a place, it helps so much when you want to buy any kind of product.
And you guys do a nice job of you guys don't talk down to the customer. I've been to some stores that when you leave, you kind of feel dumber when you leave because the customer service is just terrible. So
yeah, because
you guys do a nice job of just respecting customers and just feeling good when you leave.
Well, we know the first thing that we have to do to sell to a customer is we have to earn their trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's the very start of any interaction with the customer. I wanted to add back to the footwear. Let's not forget Mr. Albert. We have Albert, the foot scanner here, and we scan tons of feet with that. It shows us the pressure points, helps us fit people in the shoes. We kind of know. It helps us figure out what type of shoe that will work best. And then we also have the insoles from Atrex, which is a company that has the scanner. We have the selection, the full line of their insoles here. So it scans the foot and it tells us which insole that your foot needs. We use that to sell insoles if somebody is looking to buy insoles, but we also use it to help us in fitting a shoe to your foot. But it's free to scan, and we can send a link to your phone right there when you do the scan that you have a copy of the scan. But I forgot to mention that in the footwear, but that is actually it's pretty cool to have that and be able to have people scan their feet.
Yeah. I want to touch base on that a little bit for maybe somebody that may not understand what John's talking about. It's basically like this, he said it right, scanner, but you basically stand in it, and this machine scans your feet, obviously, and then it, like John was saying, it just tells you what sole to wear based on pressure points, etc.
Yeah, your arches,
and then it goes from there. So it's pretty neat. Cool. I actually used it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It also does it has like 27 cameras in it too. So it gives us a 3D image of your foot. So you can actually see the foot up there on the screen. So yeah, it has the pressure point and the arch height. It'll tell us it'll give us the size for your foot. Like what size shoe you should be wearing and stuff like that. All of that.
Yep.
Is in that, and they call him Albert, so we always call him Albert, and everybody thinks it's another person.
Yeah,
here.
When you said Albert, you're like, let's not forget Albert. I'm like, who's he talking about?
Yeah.
One more thing, real quick, before we kind of close this, or let John have the last words. One thing that wasn't mentioned that I think is a big craze right now: the mobile stuff.
Yeah.
John's got trophy line, tethered.
Yeah.
He's got I'm drawing a blank.
I think we're getting latitude stuff.
Latitude.
That's huge.
Summit climbers.
What's that one with the O? Not
It's not an O. It's like one of the biggest. Who's the biggest one?
Why am I drawing a blank on John? What's the what are some sticks that you carry? Name off some sticks. Some climbing sticks.
Hawk. We have
the green
Hawk.
one.
We have hang on there just a second. We have Hawk, and then the climber tree stand that we have. Hang on just a second. Sorry guys.
No, you're all right. While you're looking, I'll distract. So I'm talking about I don't know why I can't think of this. The mobile tree stand company that Cody DeQuisto used to own. Why can't I think of the name?
XOP.
Yes. I was drawing such a blank.
Yeah.
When you said it starts with an O, I'm like, what starts with an O? I can't think of anything.
I meant it had O in it. That's my dyslexia.
Yeah, you threw me off a little bit there too, but I knew I got it. Then but Cody, I know Cody, so when you said that, I was like, yep.
Yeah, so what I'm getting at is just John has a vast variety, and then he's got. And then you whatever you were gonna say, Kev, next, but he's got like all the accessories for saddle hunting and like the Kongs and like all that stuff.
Anything to pretty much set you up in a tree. They got the platforms, the sticks, saddles, all the little gadgets, to make it easier than a knot or something like that.
Yep.
So it's a cool setup.
Yep. And he's also got John. Can you stand on that tree that you got? I think so, right?
Yeah.
So John actually has a tree inside the store. And if you want to test out a saddle or if you want to test out a platform, all you got to do is ask somebody for some help. And they'll come over and hook you up, and you can jump on it and see what it feels like.
Yeah.
Test it out, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're only like a foot off the ground, so don't feel, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
no.
Yeah.
You have to sign the waiver before you get in the tree. If you fall a foot down, so.
All right, John, is there anything else that you'd like to cover before we wrap this up?
Well, the only thing I would like to say is, we get busy. There's times when our store is packed full and we don't have enough people to reach everybody. And then, it's just, I would just like everybody to know that we really do appreciate all our customers. And we know that our store we don't have this store if we don't have our customers.
Yep.
And we really appreciate all our customers that we have and the loyal following that we have. That's pretty much it.
And I think that shows, to be honest.
Yeah.
I really do. Because like what you were talking about, Jarrett, and we're all talking about, you build a connection with these guys. And, obviously we're not just saying this because they're one of our partners. We've been with Premier
before they were partners.
Seriously, we shopped down there before we were even.
That's where you got your first Elite from, was Premier.
Yeah. I bought my first Elite from
I remember
Premier.
that.
So it's like, like.
That's where it all started, for you.
So,
yeah.
I guess what I was getting at is they're just good dudes.
Yep.
Good Christian company with good morals. And, they truly do care about their customers. And that's why we enjoy coming down there and working with you. So we want to say thank you, John, because we truly do appreciate everything that you guys do down there. Why don't we've got one question for you. We always wrap everything up with one question, but why don't you let the listeners know exactly where you guys are at? Maybe like what days you guys are open, hours, stuff like that off the top of your head.
Yeah, so we are in Mount Hope, Ohio, and which it's I don't know how many miles, but east of Millersburg, southeast of Worcester. But Mount Hope, Ohio, zip code is 44660 here, and we're literally pretty much right on the square. So If you're in Mount Hope, you just look for a red and black building. We're there. And as far as our hours go, Monday we open at 10 and we close at 7. Tuesday 10 to 6. Wednesday's 8 to 7. Thursday is 10 to 6. Friday's 8 to 5. And Saturday 8 to 4. Sorry, they're all over the place, but we try to be open as long as we can, as many nights as we can, to make it work for our customers, but also for our employees.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those are the hours that we're open.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also find them on socials, Instagram and Facebook as well. Premier Outdoors Official.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll run their ads and stuff like that and some highlights, some products and stuff on their social media. So check that out. If anybody's listening, you can get some deals on there and see what they're running and stuff like that. But Kev, you got the last question and we'll wrap this up.
So we always end up the podcast with a question, John. And the question is, what can you apply in everyday life that you've learned from hunting?
And we, take your time. We can edit this out a little bit when you're thinking about it. But we want this to be, I wish I would have prepared this for you. I forgot. But we want this to be more than just a simple answer. If you need a minute to think about it, have at it.
So what have I learned in hunting that I apply to
everyday life?
In everyday life.
Yep. So,
go
ahead.
Well, there's multiple things, but honestly, the biggest thing that there's obviously you see the amazing the creation of God and out in the woods and all that stuff. It's amazing, but actually for me, I would say I was always my type of personality. I'm kind of I always was a little bit of a go-getter type. My patience, I should say, were always tested, and I think that what I've learned in the woods as an adult is slowing down and appreciating and taking the time to enjoy life as we go through life. And I think that is probably the biggest thing that I could actually say that what I've learned in the woods that that I've applied to my everyday life, and that is taking a step back and enjoying this ride that we're on, and appreciating all the great things that get done. There's a lot of plenty of great things and bad stuff that happens in this world, but I'd say that's probably the biggest thing, is just for me to be able to slow everything down, and I always I'm all over the place. I always were, and I really try to apply that and slow down and enjoy, and not it gets applied, and I feel like in work, the people working with employees and working with the customers, but then also, obviously in friends and church and family. Family is huge. We have 3 younger kids, and it's patience is great and to have as a parent. So.
Yeah, I really like that answer.
That would be my answer.
Yeah, and I really like that answer because we've, you got the common answers that if you've listened to our podcast, everybody knows the most common. But you touch based on the patience a little bit, but I like the fact that you mentioned just kind of taking it all in and appreciate God's creation and appreciate what He's blessed you with. A lot of people don't have the opportunity to do that, Yeah. And even though you might not have the greatest success, during that specific hunt, just maybe take it in and just appreciate, like, I'm still hunting. Right. I'm doing what I'm enjoying, and God blessed me today, and give him thanks for that, because we never know when our last breath is, and I don't want to get into that, but it's true.
We're all trying to get to heaven, and it's so. You hear things all the time about it, but it's like when you want to go on vacation, you're probably not gonna enjoy your vacation if you don't enjoy the trip or
the process.
The whole way. You want to enjoy the whole thing. You don't want to run a rush and go on vacation and just so you're on vacation. You want to enjoy the whole trip and the whole ride, and I'd say that's great.
That's a great answer, John.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yep, that's good.
Alrighty, well, we want to thank you for coming on. And if anybody listening hasn't been down to Premier Outdoors,
get down
definitely
there.
get down there.
Check them out, boys
and
girls. All right,
hey, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah,
for having us.
Thanks. Yep. Let's wrap it up, Kevy.
Alrighty, doesn't matter what you've done in the past, you can always be born again, and born again is out.
Peace.